Well, good morning, Paul and Lisa Stowers. We've had the pleasure of being friends for a few years now, and we met unitedly because of Rick Deitch and his amazing product and had quite a journey. But oh my goodness, you guys are great people and appreciate your leadership and your good influence in the good cause that we're doing right now. All of you that have never met Paul and Lisa, this will be a real pleasure. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background and who you are and how you became attracted to all of what we're doing right now.
So I guess for those that haven't heard our story, I'll give you the abbreviated version. My wife and I met at a college in Chicago back in 1991, 92. And it was a college called Moody Bible Institute. And I was studying to be a youth pastor, and she was going to be in Christian education. And as it would be, we were married that next year, and her youth pastor from Green Bay, Wisconsin, introduced us to a church up in northern Wisconsin, way up in the Green Bays down here and way up in the peninsula. And if you've never been up there, it's a really beautiful area. But anyways, we did a summer internship, and then they ended up calling us back full time. And we did a year there and had a wonderful time. But just realized that really wasn't God had called us to do for the rest of our lives. And so we moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin, where she's from. She's Go Packers, cheesehead.
Yeah.
And we lived there for 4 years. I ended up, of course, now being married, having to pay the bills, not having completed my college because I was going to do that while I was up being a youth pastor. I had to find something to do. So began to sell things, right? I basically sold cars and did multiple things. I was involved with a company. They had these Christian animated videos series by Nest Entertainment years ago, and had a really good experience with that, selling that across the country, and just did whatever we could do to pay the bills. But I was introduced probably 93, 94. Of course, I was introduced prior to that to a company called Amway, if you're familiar with that company. They're right here in our backyard. But I really never did anything with that. But in 94, was introduced to a small telecommunications company called, I won't name the names, but they went public in 96, and they were a direct sales company and became $1 billion company in that space. And I that's really where I cut my teeth, while my wife, she was doing different things. I was involved more in the sales and marketing side of things. And what I enjoyed about that experience, even though later on, after the company went public, things changed and we walked away from it, was we were still getting a residual check of probably a couple of $1,000s per month for 3 or 4 years. And I got bit by that residual bug and basically realized that was the best way to get paid. Work hard one time, keep getting paid. And a royalty or a residual, if you write music, when you write songs, you get those royalties every time that music plays on the radio. And so anyways, from there, we moved, our son was first born in 95, and 96, we ended up moving back to Michigan, where I'm from. And my brother and I were doing some business together, and that's what brought us back to my home area. And we raised our family here. And in the next 20 years was in and out of traditional business. So my brother and I started a company called Net Penny Internet, which was a dial-up internet service. We grew that to a large ISP across the country. I've been involved in startups, raising capital for both traditional business as well as network marketing companies. And so over the course of our career, there was a couple of companies that I really did well with. One in the mid 2004 to 2006, we built a very large organization. And again, my wife is taking care of the family. I'm off gonna make it big in the industry. And although we had success in the industry, never really, every time we get close to having success, something would happen, not to our fault. The opportunity would go away and we'd have to do something else. And in 2014, there was a friend of mine who was a number one money earner in the industry in a company, who was the executive vice president of a company that was based out of South Florida, actually near where our home office is for Avini. And I got involved in that company on the distributor side, but they were in need of a national training director. And eventually asked my wife and I to move and to go to South Florida and help launch that company and be a part of it. So we lived in South Florida for 3 years, from July 2015 to July of 2018, or the fall. And our daughter went with us. Our son had graduated high school. He stayed back here in Michigan. And basically that was a great experience. I was executive VP or vice president of I call it just get it done when you're doing it, when you're in a small company. It's just all of the above, right? Just make it happen. And it was a great experience. And then after 3 years, that company today has, I think, 100,000 distributors, and they're international. But my purpose, what I went there for, changed. So we moved back to Michigan, and our daughter stayed down in South Florida. She graduated from Palm Beach Atlantic University. And this kind of brings us up to how I got involved, or we got involved with Cell Defender, the original product that we came in contact with a few years ago. But she was still in Florida. We're back in Michigan, and we're driving down to her graduation. Would be 2.5 years ago. We were driving to Florida. My wife, my mom were in the car, and I get a phone call. And that phone call was about an opportunity at the time. And I almost didn't listen, not because I'm not into good opportunities. Timing wasn't really, I wasn't looking for anything. But the gentleman said enough about our product. Now we call it Cell Defender. But he said enough about that product that caught my attention. And my wife and my mom are rolling their eyebrows, not another deal. And I'm like, no, I'm interested in the product. I really genuinely am. He sent me a video of Rick Deitch explaining the product that was 5 minutes long. And that video basically really piqued my interest. I read some of the science on it. I ended up basically then hearing Doug's testimony the following week. And I said, I'm in because of the product. And I had some underlying health issues that I didn't really connect the dots at the time, that were progressively getting worse. As you get older, you recognize things in your body. You're like, that's not normal. And you just pay attention to those things, and got on the product. I started sharing the product. My wife got on the product as well, but we started sharing it before we even had our own testimony, because we believed in what the product could do for the body. But in 90 days, all the health conditions that I had been experiencing for 3 or 4 years that were progressively getting worse went away. As Rick Deitch says, a cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. And from there, I not only did I see it starting to benefit other people, I started to see it helping myself and my wife. She can tell you maybe her story as far as what she's seen with the product. And we didn't, of course, Avini was not even a part of the conversation at that point, because the product was with another company. And then when that company went away, a product went to another company. When that company went away, we kept following the product. My wife actually said, because we were starting to make some money with the company, but we were more interested in where's the product going, because you're like, we got to have access to this product. And so she would say,
it's like, how are we going to buy it? It was
yeah, how are we going to buy it?
And then I'm like, I don't care where it comes from. I just need to buy it.
Yeah.
So, hey, tell us a little bit about you. Like you've been a personal trainer, and I guess you're getting ready for a competitive bodybuilding. Tell us a little bit about that and your experience with these products.
Yeah, I did do 2 shows in my life. One when I was 36, and that was because I was actually very ill. I had a lot of health problems back then, and through nutrition and exercising, it really helped alleviate a lot of my symptoms right in the beginning. I had a vertigo issue. So then I got into personal training because everybody's asking me, what are you doing? And then before you know it, I'm training people, and I got the certification, and I ended up getting pretty busy with it, actually. And so I decided I'll do another show. I was at 42, and I don't really like doing shows. I just do them for a reason usually. And so I did that, and it was like, I wonder if I can do this still. I always like to test things on myself too. But now that I'm 52, I'm realizing I'm going through a lot of changes that happen when you're 50. And I thought, boy, I want to go on all of our products, do one more show, probably the last one I'll ever do in my life. And also, by the way, the shows help bring in clients. That's why I do them. But this time I'm doing it for a different reason. So yeah, I've noticed a big difference this time around. I think the two biggest differences I notice are you get really sore when you're training, and everybody's, what do you take? You can take glutamine, you can take all these different things. But what I've noticed is the Cell Defender is helping with soreness, sore muscles, moods. The Trim Science I've been using too, as well as the gut health, which for me, after doing those two things, I also do not have a gallbladder. I didn't say that either. When I was 29, it was removed, and I don't even know why I had it. And it was just ridiculous. Back then, they just took them out. And it's like, you don't need that. You don't need that gallbladder. And I didn't know what I know now about nutrition. So unfortunately, I just did that. But it caused me to have some digestive problems after my second show. So I had some really bad issues, and those went away. I started to notice a difference actually just using the Cell Defender. But when we got the Avini fiber, that was a game changer for me, and that's totally gone. Like my problems with that, they're gone. So yeah, I'm very thankful. It's helped me in a lot of ways in that way. Moods, soreness, and training for a competition. I can help other people that are training, because a lot of bodybuilders, I always wondered, why do they get, like, all of a sudden I'll hear about they'll have bad cells or that they'll get sick, and they're so lean, right? And they're so healthy. But I'm like, look healthy, but they're actually not that healthy, because what's happening is they're taking in all these supplements that have a lot of heavy metals in them and different chemicals and all different things in those products. And this is going to be really big with bodybuilders. This is really a big deal for bodybuilders. This is a game changer for them.
I would also add to her, just her personality is, everybody says, well, I'm not a salesperson. And she's the furthest thing from a salesperson, right? I've always been in sales and marketing. She's always been stay at home, work with the kids, that type of thing. And of course, besides her experience with being a personal trainer.
Well, you want to share, but whatever is a change in your own life, I want to help other people in their health, in their journey to getting better.
Well, people ask you,
and they ask,
hey, what are you doing? What products do you take? Especially when you're doing what she does, pain issues, and what would you take for better health? And so it's a natural for her. It has become a natural, just share. I'm not trying to convince you need to do what I do, but if you're asking my opinion, this is what I would do. And this is the first company in all the years that I've been involved in the industry that she's not only joined me, but she's actually getting customers. She's actually getting distributors. And of course, I support that and help with some of the stuff that she may not know how to do. But she's out talking to people because both of us are passionate about these products and what we see happening in other people.
Absolutely. And what Lisa's doing is actually the most attractive of all sales strategies. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not looking for salespeople. We're looking for advocates or ambassadors that believe in the products that they would take for themselves and just simply want to share them with others because they want to help people live better quality lives, extend their lives, etc. And that's really what it's about. Yes, money is important, and money is a byproduct. I said this the other night, but business 101 is find a problem and then provide a solution to the problem, right? That's really what business mostly entails. And we have a problem, a big problem in our country, and we have a solution that's foundational to good health. And so if you just bring that solution to people, I was playing pickleball last week. There was a gentleman I was playing with, and after we got done, we were talking about he was waiting for some FAA clearance, and I said, "Oh, are you a pilot?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've been a pilot since the mid '90s." And I said, "Well, what's the problem?" He says, "I've been grounded for a couple of years because I had a vision problem. Then I'm waiting for my final clearance to go back." And I said, "I know as a pilot, being around this now for a couple of years in my research, that there's actually tons of research and studies where you find pilots have issues with heavy metals because they're breathing in all these jet fumes over these years, and it's creating problems in their body." I just happened in that conversation to say, "Hey, have you connected this to maybe that being a potential to your problem?" And he hadn't heard of it. He didn't even know that was an issue. And he's been a pilot for almost 30 years. And so, of course, naturally, that's a great conversation to bring up Cell Defender. You're not trying to sell them, just saying, "Hey, I have a solution to potentially the problem your body's dealing with." And so that's really what it's about.
That's the perfect business, I think, is having something that everybody needs, but nobody has it. And you use it and you can actually feel a difference. And in order to use it, you got to buy more of it. So it's consumable. And then it's so good that you're going to want to share it with others. And I think about the idea that probably all of us at some time in our life have said the words to the fact that if I could believe in this, I could sell it. And of course, it's not selling, it's sharing. And then having a program where very easily what you would do for free anyway is find something you believe in and share it with the people that you love, and then strategize that, make that something where it becomes purposeful rather than just whatever kind of comes by, that you're actually going out there with enthusiasm because you want to share. And wow, it's really good stuff. Hey, so Paul, you had somewhat to do with just inspiring the founders, Rick and Neil and everyone, to get this company going. You became personal friends with Doug, our VP, who is just the Avini Energizer bunny that really adds enthusiasm. Tell us about how this came about and what's going on and why you guys are so excited.
Yeah, so I remember when the first company that I was introduced to with Doug, when I first met Doug, and and that was starting to go away. I remember having conversations with him. I said, maybe we should start our own company or talk about it and so forth. And then before we could even have that conversation, they had already moved the product to another company, and then that company went away for various reasons. And then finally, it was like, okay, time out here. We have thousands of people that need access to these products. I remember the initial, at least conversations I had with Doug, and of course, conversations they were having together. I think it's interesting how companies come together. This company came together out of just a need to service humanity, to be able to have a company that would provide product on time, every time. These are life-giving, life quality giving, saving even products as the body heals itself. And so out of that necessity, being able to, and then timing, right? Timing for Rick and his world, and timing for Neil to be a part of this, and to draw everybody together, the right players together to put a company together like Avini. And I have friends in the industry that see what we're doing, and of course they didn't get on board in the beginning and still haven't gotten on board, and they look at what we're doing, and the comment a lot of times that I hear is, "Oh, you're lucky. You were lucky." And no, I'm not lucky. I said, I worked, number one. I said, number two, I followed a product that I believed in. I wasn't money became a part of it, and it's becoming a more substantial part of it, but it was because I believed in a product truly, genuinely, that I would take no matter what. I would share it even if I didn't get paid. And then here Avini's birthed in May of last year. And then to see where the company has gone in the last 16 months. I've been in the industry 30 plus years and seen startups, been a part of them, been a part of bigger companies. I genuinely believe that this company has the right leadership in place to efficiently run a company that will become and it's already being established to become one of those legacy companies, those companies that 20, 30, 40 years from now are these big companies, or even 5 or 10 or 15 years from now, these big companies that everybody hears about because it's being run so well. I could use this analogy. If everybody's familiar with how Hollywood produces shows, like these pilots, there's hundreds of pilots that they produce, these pilot shows that they do every year. They bring A-list actors together to produce these pilots. So they're bringing the best of the best, and they have the show, and it doesn't work. They get one season, it doesn't get renewed. One season doesn't get renewed. And there's hundreds of them that are going on at any given time. But every once in a while, a show breaks out. We're all familiar with, like Friends or Big Bang Theory or Seinfeld. All of a sudden, the right chemistry of the right actors come together, the right script, the right production, everything lines up, and you have this big show that's created. And companies are the same way. There's a lot of great companies out there that bring what I call the best of the best to the table. And yet they go on and have success, but they don't really go on and become legendary companies. But I really believe that there's a divine hand of providence in this company to create a company that's really touching humanity at a level that very few companies can do. And it's just when you look at it from a pure number standpoint and what we've done in the past 16 months is almost unprecedented in the industry when you're talking about a product-based business from a grassroots movement, being able to establish a company that's profitable, that's debt-free. Somebody asked me last week, because we just had our regional event this past weekend, and Neil was there, our CEO, Neil Roth, and Doug and Rick, and they said, what was one thing that really stood out to you at that event that they said? And I'm thinking back, and for me, coming from business, I thought this was interesting that I picked up on this. But I picked up on the fact that Neil Roth said, he said they were getting ready to, of course, we're going into this new expansion, 20,000 square foot facility in South Florida. And he had to put together financials and all that kind of stuff that they are looking for. And they said, they asked Neil, they said, where are your payables at? And Neil's, what do you mean? Where are your payables? Like your bills you owe. And Neil's, we don't have any. He says, we get a bill, we pay it. And we don't have any payables. And I thought that was pretty interesting for a company that's only 15, 16 months old, that has no payables, that's debt-free, cash in the bank, and has its foundation that all of us can be comfortable with, that is going to operate. It operates so efficiently, so effectively, that we'll be here. So then it's just about us as the actors in the production. We are the lifeblood of the company. And so we just need more of us. We need more of us full time. We need more people that want to go out there and become ambassadors. And whether it's part-time or full-time, the more people we can have participate, the more lives we can touch. But anyways, that was just, so where do I see us headed? As they say, the sky's the limit, but genuinely, we are so positioned so well, better than any guy I've ever been a part of in my entire life. So
I would enthusiastically agree. I think about this company, this particular product actually is 20 anniversary to right now. Rick invented it back in 2003, and it's millions of bottles have been sold through different companies that for some reason the owner just didn't appreciate it and drove that company off into the ditch or something. But it actually was enough, I would say, inspirational dissatisfaction for Rick and Neil and everyone to finally start their own company. I know it is easier to be a vendor or licensed to somebody else and have them do that responsibility. But what we've heard before, if you want it done, I guess you'll have to do it yourself. And boy, they're sure doing it. And one of the things, knowing Neil and Rick for a few years now with those other companies, and you too, think about this, just the sparkle in their eyes. And there really is nothing like being in charge. I think one of the great things in life is just autonomy or freedom or whatever, being able to completely direct your own life instead of someone else being in the driver's seat. And so I think we've come of age, and we definitely have something that everybody needs. And it's what a wonderful story to tell. And if you're an opportunity person, the whole idea is recognize an idea before everybody else does, and then get out there and hustle. And Neil's always talking about the idea and the opportunity to work really hard in a growth environment. This is a growth environment, and boy, the timing's right. The market's immeasurable. The opportunity is yours, and you can be one of the big ones, because right now it's not really big. It will be big. And wow.
This is really the best, playing off what you just said. This is the best time to be a part of Avini in its history. 15, 16 months ago, we were still an idea that we believed would work, but now we've proven it works. And we now have proven that we have a successful business model, successful leadership, successful compensation plan, successful ability to deliver products on time every time. We have pay people on time every time. We've proven that. So a lot of people wait to see on the sidelines to see, are they going to make it? Because small, startups are more risky. But we're at that point now where we're not a startup anymore. And so the next 12 to 18 months, 24 months, this is when you begin to start seeing a company like this go into critical. The leaders of our company haven't even come into Avini yet, I don't believe yet. Or they're here, but they haven't had the chance to rise to leadership yet. This is the time to get busy. If you want to grow, this is the perfect storm right now because you have all the foundation in place to build on with the confidence that it's going to be here, but you have all the growth ahead of you yet. So if you had a perfect opportunity to participate, this is the time, this is the season to go build your net, cast your net, and your harvest will be here 12, 24, 36 months from now as the company starts to really take off. I think, I don't really know exact numbers, but I think there's right around 6,000 distributors that have bought an activation pack and another 4,000 or 5,000 retail customers. That's how big we are. And that's across the country. That's across Canada. That's a drop in the bucket. But from that, you just watch the next, and there's those people that watch things happen. There's those people that make things happen. And then there's people that wonder what the heck happened. So don't be that person 2 years from now that wondered, oh man, I was there. I was a part of that company. And I would say it this way too, whatever level you can participate at, that's a cool thing about Avini, right? If you're just somebody that needs to take these products, wants to take these products, we're looking for the masses to do that, right? If you're looking to buy a wholesale, that's great. If you're looking to pay for your products, we can show you how to do that. If you're looking to grow up beyond that, we can show you how to do that. So we have something genuinely for everybody. And unlike maybe other companies that put a lot of pressure on, hey, we got to go do this. It's really what you want out of Avini. We can help you achieve. And that's really what we're here to do, is support you at whatever level you want to participate at. But at the end of the day, you're in the right place at the right time as far as everything's in place, and now this is the time to build. So
Absolutely. Just a final thought here. Just a couple of weeks ago, you had 120 or so people show up, and I think there's something magic that happens when people come together. And I've heard that leadership is the enthusiastic communication of your vision. That's what you need as vision, and this company does have that. And there's an event coming up in a couple of months. I believe it will be just a really defining moment. Neil likes to keep secrets, and he's got 4 big ones that he says that will transform who we are, what we're doing. Being there, I believe, will give you the opportunity to come home with vision, and people will think, what is it you're doing? They'll be attracted to you when you have that confidence and vision that you know that this is going to be big, and just people will see it. They'll hear it in your voice. There's going to be some major aha moments. I believe that pretty much anybody successful, there's a point in their life where they made a decision to be successful. Something happened. And I believe that on purpose, that's what these events are all about, as having moments like that where you get, wow, I am going to do this. And any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have written up on my wall here the definition of success, the way I define it. And that it says success equals the amount of belief you have in what you are doing. So I'll say it again. Success equals the amount of belief you have in what you are doing. And I believe success is directly defined by that deep belief in something. And success means a lot of different things to different people, right? It doesn't mean everybody's going to become Black Diamond in our company, right? That's not necessarily what I mean by success. Success could be just simply touching one person's life with the product because you believe in something. But the belief in what you have makes you unshakable. Makes you confident to the core that no one can tell you or talk you out of what you're doing. Both makes an impact on humanity, or maybe even the opportunity to make some extra income, or maybe make full-time income. And these types of events, whether it's a regional event, in this case, our Dallas Summit that's coming up, if at all you can make your way to Dallas, I highly encourage you to not only for yourself, but your team members. Yes, it's an investment. And so I know not everybody's able to do that. So if you can't, totally understand. But if you can all but make it there and get your tickets, because I know the price is going to go up here in the near future, secure your spot there, because these types of events build your belief that these intangibles that you get out of these events is priceless, both for yourself, but also for others that you'll be able to communicate with when you come back from these events. There's just something that you cannot put a price tag on, and it will transcend your business to a level that And again, levels of success they do vary. But every time I've gone to an event, we've gone to an event, we come back, our business grows. Literally takes some pretty good growth jumps. And it's like I said, it's not anything special. It's just that our belief level grows every time you go. So if I can encourage everyone out there to really seriously consider that, if it's all but possible, be there. And if not this one, the next one. But these events really do help you and help your team continue to expand your Avini business.
I would say yes, just do it. You'll be glad you did. And it's fun to be glad I did than rather I wish I would have. Hey, thanks so much. Let's go do this.
I think we should, Dave. I think we should go out and do this.
Thank you, everyone. Much love.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.